Whether you're a collector, a parent, or a kid looking for a new toy, this is what choice looked like from 1978 to 1995. Would you like to buy this 3 3/4 inch Darth Vader figure? Yes or no? But today's action figure market is a lot bigger and more diverse. This time out, Hasbro has given collectors, parents, and kids a real choice to make when it comes to determining which Kylo Ren figure they want to put in their pocket. Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is 3 3/4 inch 5 POA Kylo Ren versus 3 3/4 inch Black Series Kylo Ren. Basic 5 POA Kylo Ren comes in the familiar bubble-on blister treatment that has been the standard for action figures for decades. It features artwork of the character and words all over the place. It's a frenzy of color and movement designed to maximize eye exposure between blinks. It's like a caffeine-infused 3-second commercial making a desperate attempt to grab a young collector's attention before they, oh hey, look at this! Black Series Kylo Ren uses the same packaging approach as the 6-inch line with a very simple, clean black box with a stark contrasting red background. A subtle portrait of Kylo Ren sits in the bottom right corner as the diagonal die-cut window crops his hood ever so slightly. This is packaging directed at a more refined, more sophisticated collector with more money in their wallet. Refined and sophisticated perhaps, but not necessarily better. There's room in your collection for both high-speed chases and quiet moments of introspection. What really makes the difference here is the ability to put the figure back in the package either for display or safe storage, and that's why Black Series truly belongs here with us among the clouds. A lot of Star Wars collectors can bore you to tears talking about the brilliance of the vintage line, its simple aesthetic, minimal paint applications, and the inclusion of one accessory per figure. But they draw a hard line between what was acceptable in 1978 and what is acceptable now. 5 POA on a vintage figure is old school cool. 5 POA on a modern figure is baby toy. Black Series Kylo Ren has more articulation than 5 POA by a lot. Pivoting and rotating shoulders, elbows, wrists, hip, knees, and ankles. The only thing he's missing is an ab crunch and a neck that can do more than look left and right. It's a lot harder for 5 POA Kylo Ren to fall without a stand since his legs and robe skirt are molded together, so that's better? This round was over before it started. Black Series showed no mercy, piling up points of articulation like 3PO stacking Jawa corpses. Both figures come with Kylo Ren's signature cross-guard lightsaber, and while the sculpts and paint applications differ slightly, it's hard to say that one is better than the other, they're just slightly different. And while regular 5 POA Kylo comes with a build-a-table saw piece, Black Series Kylo Ren comes with a second non-ignited cross-guard lightsaber hilt. We have seen lightsabers at this scale with removable blades before, but it's likely that Hasbro included the unlit hilt as a more cost-effective measure than attempting to make the 3 blades removable like they are on the 6-inch figure. There might be a little more play value in the weird space saw weapon that the 5 POA comes with, especially if you're able to get all the pieces it attaches to. But most collectors and kids are probably going to want something that actually appeared in the movies and makes sense with the character. Black Series is more powerful than you could possibly imagine as it wins a 3rd straight round. Paint-wise, these figures are practically identical. They're both molded in black plastic with silver accents on their masks and belt buckles, and each have some glossiness to their gloves and boots. For sculpting, 5 POA Kylo is a self-contained thing. There are no loose parts. The simplified articulation also makes for a simplified silhouette. His hood, shawl, skirt, he looks like Kylo Ren, and he looks like gravity is affecting his clothing realistically. The fabrics appear draped over his body. Yes, 5 POA figures have always had a hard time with interpreting robes and cloaks and cakes. Clopes and cakes? Clopes and cakes. The fabrics appear draped over his body. Yes, 5 POA figures have always had a hard time with interpreting robes and cloaks and capes and being able to move. The legs molded to the robe thing on this is strange looking, but also harkens back to vintage Anakin Skywalker, Bib Fortuna, and the Emperor. There is precedent, there is homage in the design choices for this figure. Black Series Kylo Ren mixes in soft goods with a cloth skirt layered over rubbery flaps the same way the 6-inch figure does. It allows for a much greater range of movement by his legs, and you could probably get this Kylo to sit in the cockpit of a ship if you absolutely had to, especially if you asked nicely. As much as I like the vintage feel of the 5 POA, there's just something frustrating about not being able to bend knees and elbows. It bothered me back during the golden age of the vintage line, and it bothers me now. 5 POA is long ago. Knees and elbows are now and forever. 5 POA Kylo Ren is definitely less expensive at $8, but what are you getting for that? A barely articulated, tiny plastic statue with one good and one weird accessory? Which of these is going to stand up to handling better? I can tell you that if you open that Black Series figure, if you play with that Black Series figure, that cloth goods skirt is going to look like garbage in a few years. You may even lose that unlit lightsaber hilt. I personally don't like cloth goods at this scale, and my figures generally just stand on my shelf, so it doesn't make sense to spend the extra $5 for a tiny lightsaber hilt. And what about speculators, collectors who want to invest to resell 20 years from now? The Black Series was released in much lower quantities and for $13. Surely that will be the figure to have a better return on investment decades from now, right? It's hard to make an argument that 5 POA Kylo could be more valuable than Black Series now or at any time in the future. Round 5 goes to Black Series due to quality of the materials, the scarcity, and for every other reason I can come up with. So which figure is right for you? Are you a parent, a collector, or a kid looking for a new toy? That's the choice Hasbro has given you. By the scorecard, everyone should be all over that Black Series figure, but I can't deny that for me, I absolutely prefer the 5 POA. And I would have ruled as such if it hadn't looked so obvious that I was trying to skew the battle in its favor with categories like ability to remain standing without a stand, best homage to the vintage line, and least amount of cloth goods. Thanks for watching. Be a part of the discussion in the comments below, but please leave out the 5 POA, more like 5 POS remarks. It'll just hurt my feelings. If you liked this video, hit like. If you didn't like it, then you must be a 5 POA fan like me, so you're cool in my book. Please subscribe because Toy Galaxy is the best way to maximize eye exposure between blinks. Nailed it. Nailed it.